Okay, today is Halloween and I want to do a story time video about discrimination. And I know it's like I don't honestly I don't really like doing these negative topics. But these are the things that people want to hear and they want to see and they're afraid of. Like a lot of people ask me, like one of the top questions they ask me about coming to Japan is like if Japan is like friendly towards LGBTQ plus, or if they're friendly towards hijabis or people with different backgrounds. And I can't answer these questions because I mean, I used to be in the closet, so for the longest time I've just been, I mean, it's easy to just go through life as a straight person. I look like a basic straight Asian. So I don't really face a lot of the discrimination that people face in Japan. I don't think people really know my background. So I am Mexican, and I grew up in a neighborhood with mostly other people of color, and always felt like a minority. So going to Japan and being treated as a minority doesn't really bother me that much. And that should be the end of my video. I grew up seeing a lot of discrimination in America. TV shows, like growing up, there's not any representation, like positive representation of brown girls, black girls. Like you don't really see, you know, the princess is always like blonde. The princess is always this European looking person. I felt like I was othered. I don't know how else to say that. So when I came to Japan and people treated me as an American, like I tell them I'm American and they're like, oh, they just like very complimentary. And they made me like a representation of my country. So it didn't really bother me actually, because this is the first time like I felt that I was being accepted as an American person. Like I was representing my country. Because in America you have to kind of, I don't know what it is about Americans, but they're obsessed with race. And when you meet someone, they will ask you what race you are. And in Japan, they just ask you like where you're from. So if you just say I'm American, they usually don't really question it. I guess if you were like an Asian American, they would ask you like where are your parents from? I mean, I do have a friend who is he's Vietnamese American. I think he's half white, half Vietnamese. Well, I think when he tells Japanese people that he's American, they don't really believe him because he looks Asian. Oh yeah, so this story time is about racism. I keep like, I'm also, I will list the products that I use. Sometimes I forget to list everything, but I do tell people in the comments what I use. So if I miss something, just ask me and I will list it. Sometimes I remember during COVID, it was really, the racism was much more accepted. It was more of like this fear of foreigners bringing in diseases, and I think it's always been like that, like the fear of the outside. That's how Japan survived. Like if you know about like Japanese history, like they've always been really closed off, and that's how they managed to survive as a country, is like being isolationists for a long time. So they've always not really been accepting of foreign people coming to Japan. And yeah, so during COVID, like I would walk past these little shops in the countryside, and the shops are like people's houses. Like the shops are in front of their house, and their house is upstairs, and they would see me coming and they would close and lock the door. Or like people, I think even now, even walking around now in Tokyo, sometimes people will see foreigners and they will put on a face mask, or they will cover their face. I actually have a friend from Osaka who like caught this guy on camera at the station. She like got this on film. Like he was like going like this. Like he saw her and he started doing this, and then she was like telling him like, why are you doing that? And she was like really angry that he was just like just thinking she's dirty, like a dirty person. And I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's just I've been called scary. I think I've said this in another video, like one of my older videos. Sometimes Japanese people will walk down the street at night and they'll see me and they'll say I'm scary. Like they'll say it to my face because they think I don't understand what they're saying. And I'm not a big person. I'm 5'5". I'm 5'5", I'm 5'4", I think. I think I shrunk. I'm still shorter than a lot of men. And I had this one incident with a couple that they were my neighbors. And they just saw me like taking out my trash one day and they just like, oh, she's so scary. And I was like I'm just trying to exist. So for me, like a lot of the racism is just Japanese people being afraid of foreigners. So I don't really feel like I'm in danger a lot of the time, because I do think that people who are gonna be scared of me are just gonna leave me alone or try to avoid me. I can't speak on everyone's experience. I feel like there's like a lot of white privilege in Japan. There's foreigners will be treated as foreigners, but I feel like white people always get treated slightly better. There's like a lot of influence with like Hollywood and media. Like Japanese people love America because of Hollywood. They love American films, they love American music. And I think after World War II, there was like a lot of influence from like Hollywood in Japan. So I think there's just an admiration for the way that white people look in Japan. If you walk around Tokyo, you'll see a lot of advertisements and models, TV commercials, and it's just like the most basic white people you've ever seen in your life. Like I used to model, so I know what is like popular in Japan. I mean, 10 years ago is like really different now, because now they're more inclusive and they're trying to compete globally, so they have to be more what's the word? Not inclusive. The word is like, but 10 years ago when I was modeling, they wanted like the most white looking people. Like you have to be super pale and you have to have like these really thin lips and like really tall and like skinny nose. Like I think I said like you have to look like a sick, dying Victorian child to be considered like attractive. I'll tell you one thing, my friend Annabelle, I met her a few days ago. We went to Disneyland and she did tell me like she recently went to Ikebukuro to a club. It was a bar, like a local bar, and they wouldn't let her in. They let her friend in, and her friend was like Swedish or something, like white girl. She was with two white girls and they let them in and they wouldn't let her in, and they just told her like, you just can't come in, like not you. So like 10 years ago in Golden Guy, they had signs. Golden Guy is like the place where people go to drink. It's near the red light district in Shinjuku, and there were signs on doors that said like Japanese only. And at first I was like shocked. I was like, wow. I wouldn't say it's more common. I think it's just it's more normalized now. Like back then it was a big deal, but I think now people are just like, they're more like, I understand why and we accept this. And I think it's kind of crazy that right now there's like a lot of foreigners online who are making Japanese accounts and pretending to be Japanese right-wing people basically, and like spreading hate online towards foreigners who make content about Japan or like living in Japan or like raising issues that are going on in Japan. And it's crazy. Like people love Japan so much and they want to keep it as Japanese as possible. They want to like preserve Japan and put it like in a little bubble, and like no one is allowed to touch it because it's their special little place. And I can feel that a lot. I think this is called gatekeeping. I can feel this a lot with like people online when they like comment on stuff, or like there's like so many people who I feel like a lot of foreigners hate foreigners more than Japanese people hate foreigners. And it's so messed up. I didn't feel this way 10 years ago. I think it's just something I've noticed recently. And I understand to an extent like being fed up with tourism, like over tourism, because we had this period of time where there was no tourists in Japan, and then suddenly they come back. And people who work in like tourism industries are happy because they're making money. And then people who are tourists are like, well, you want our money, we're coming to your country, like you should be grateful that we're helping your economy. But salaries haven't risen for anyone in like forever. Things are getting more expensive. Like, it's not really helping individuals who have to deal with the amount of tourism every day. Like, their life is not improving because of over tourism. It's the government who's like profiting off of these things. So I understand like the resentment that they have for like this problem going on right now, but a lot of it is like misdirected towards people who just want to come and enjoy and love Japan. It should be more towards like the government and like them not really having the infrastructure to facilitate like this amount of visitors. Like, it's just, there was already like an overpopulation problem in Tokyo. Like, there's, even when there wasn't any tourism, like there's just, it's really hard to like get on the train and go to work during rush hour. Like, it's just crazy how there's not enough transportation, like public transportation for people. Just the amount of visitors have like just exposed a lot of the weaknesses in the infrastructure and the way things are run. So I don't really feel like any negative feelings towards tourists. I do see a lot of rude tourists though. Whenever I have to go to the city. I mean, I live in the city, but whenever I have to leave my apartment and I have to do things, a few days ago I went to Don Quixote, and the one in Shibuya, it was like the worst experience of my life. I've never want to step foot in there again. But it was 90% tourist, and getting on that elevator, it was really hard. I had like a Karen moment because people were like shoving me. Like, I don't know what country they're from, but they were not Japanese, and they were shoving me, trying to get on, and I was like basically having to push them back because they just didn't fit in the elevator, and they were like trying to force me to like let them on. And I was like asking, I think they're speaking Mandarin, these two girls. I asked them like, what floor do you want me to press? And they ignored me. And then they looked at me and they saw that I was foreign, and they put on their face mask. And then like I was like, okay, they don't want me to press anything for them. But then when it was my time to get out, like they wouldn't move. They wouldn't get out of the elevator for me, and they're like in the center. And I was like, excuse me, like tapping, excuse me, and they were ignoring me. So I had to like scream at them. I had to be like, can you please move out of the way? Can you get out? And they didn't move. So I had to shove them. I was screaming and I had to shove them to get out of the elevator. And I felt really embarrassed because that's not something like I would do. It's not something I ever had to do in Japan. I see tourists like walking around smoking when you're not supposed to walk around and smoke, and like throwing the cigarette on the floor. And I know it's like, yeah, Japanese people do that all the time too. When I see someone who looks like me is doing that, I feel like, first of all, there's not a lot of us. So if you do something that's bad, like, they just think that it's all of us. If one foreigner breaks one rule, they will change the rules for all foreigners. I think recently they changed the rules for like a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs, I think they're starting to overcharge people from specific countries. Like, if you have a passport, you're a tourist, and you're from a certain country, they're gonna charge you more, or they're gonna say you can't go in. Obviously, like, it's Japan, it's mostly Japanese people, so there's gonna be a lot of incidents of like Japanese men doing things to women in clubs, but they're not gonna ban Japanese men from going to clubs because they just don't see themselves as a problem. Japanese people are really proud of being Japanese, and I mean, they have a great reputation around the world. They're very respectful when they go abroad. I mean, that's what I heard. I've witnessed this where like I had a friend who's Japanese visit me in America, and then like I tell people this is my Japanese friend. Everyone's like, oh my god, that's so cool, that's so amazing, I love Japan, I love Japanese people, I love anime. So I think like Japan just has like this reputation of like being this like respectful and honorable country. So I think Japanese people are very proud and aware of that. So I will tell you, when my first year, a lot of things happened the first year I moved here. So one day I went on the train, and I sat down. Like, I used to bow at people. Like, I would, like, if I'm gonna sit next to you, I'm like this, and then I sit, and I sat down. The train was kind of full. Like, it wasn't overcrowded. Like, there was maybe one or two people standing, but every seat was taken. And I sat down next to this old woman. I sat down, and I right away felt strange. Like, she didn't want me to sit next to her. And I was trying really hard to give her space. Like, I made myself really small, and she started elbowing me. Like, she was pretending to look into her bag, but on my right side, she was really digging in and like exaggerating in her movement. Like, she was not really hiding the fact that she was elbowing me. So like, I really like scooted over like as much as I could to make it obvious, like, I am actively avoiding getting elbowed by you. And I think it pissed her off even more that I was like not getting up, but I was like doing this. And she, when her stop came, she like got up. She took her bag and she like threw it back. So as she was getting up, she threw her bag back, and it hit me in the face. And she got up and she left. And I was like shocked, because it was like the first time that someone has ever been rude to me in Japan. And I started crying on the train. Like, I was so hurt by this interaction. Yeah, I was like red in the face, and I was crying because I was embarrassed that happened to me. I guess that was like the thing that like made me awake. Like, okay, not everyone is gonna be nice to you. I was tasting the foods at the store, like the supermarket. They have like a little tasting section, and I used the stick. I grabbed one, I ate it, and then put the stick in the trash. Grabbed another stick, and as I was putting it into the other thing, the lady like hit my stick, and she was like, no. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? And she thought that I didn't understand, like, it's one stick per thing. So she thought like I was dipping my stick back according to like her logic. Like, I'm not gonna know the right etiquette of like tasting stuff. Like, I told her, like, I grabbed another stick, and she was like saying sorry, but it was just her assumption. Like, that was just her preconceived bias. It was like to correct me. And this happens a lot. Is like, they will correct you a lot. Even if you're doing something right, they will try to make it perfect. They'll try to make it more Japanese than Japanese. I mean, I understand, like, it's not really frustrating for me. I understand like how people who live in Japan for a long time would get frustrated with this, like getting treated as like a child, or like someone who doesn't understand stuff because you're not Japanese. But sometimes it's like cute. I mean, I remember one time I went to get an iced coffee, like the ones that you put in the machine, and the guy was like, do you need help using the machine? And like, if I was Japanese, he wouldn't ask me if I need help, but he asked me because I'm a foreigner. So I thought that's like, it's kind of cute to like get special attention sometimes. But yeah, overall, I would say like that is like the worst. I've seen worse things happen to people, but not to me. I went to Osaka one time with a friend, and my friend is Japanese. They just don't look Japanese because they're mixed. We were at the fish market, and this old Japanese fisherman was like, get the fuck out of here, you foreign whatever, like in Japanese. And my friend was like shocked. This person probably is used to like saying these things to foreigners because they don't understand Japanese. So like it hits differently like when you understand the language. Like, if you're just a tourist and you see like an angry man like screaming at you, you probably think like, oh, they're probably closed or something. But if you're Japanese, you're like, okay, this guy's racist and he doesn't want me to be like looking at his fish. But I think if you're someone that is afraid of Japanese people being like not accepting, you don't have to be afraid, because if they don't want to help you or like give you service, you can just go to another place. Like, there's a lot. there's a lot of places that will be friendly towards foreigners. A lot of like nice experiences have happened to me in Japan too. I remember one time I was lost in Kyoto, and this woman on her way to work, like she was rushing to work, she stopped and she helped me like with directions. Like I didn't speak Japanese and she didn't speak English, but she took me to where I wanted to go. Like she walked me all the way there. I think because of the news and like there's so much like anti-foreigner stuff going on in Japan, a lot of Japanese people also have been trying to be nicer to foreigners because I think they can sense or feel like that we're not feeling comfortable or like feeling like sad. Every country has racism and discrimination, sexism, but I feel like Japan is not on top of that list. I haven't lived in a lot of countries. I've only lived in America, so I can't really compare to other countries, but I'm a minority here and I was a minority in America, so I don't really see Japan as like treating me worse than America. I mean, there are some like aspects, but it's more to do with like sexism than racism. Yeah, that is my takeaway. I don't think people should be afraid if you're hijabi or if you're gay or if you're trans. People here are very respectful. They will ignore you or they will be nice to you for the most part. If you ever encounter like a racist person who is like hateful and like screaming at you, just know like they're like that to a lot of people. It's not just you. Like, to be that kind of person, like you have to have like a lot of things wrong with you. That person is just very ill, and that person usually has a very shitty life and they hate everyone. It's not just you. So I will show you my finished look after, but I can't finish it on camera because my time talking is done. Okay, here's my finished look. My bangs are messed up. Yeah, this wig was like not a bang wig, but I put bangs on it, so that's why it's like anime style right now. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you want more topics, like Japan topic videos, you can ask me in the comment section and I will try to make more videos about Japan and my experience living here. I'm gonna go to a nightclub and I'm probably gonna vlog the experience of clubbing in Japan on Halloween. Talk to you girls later.